Hello. Yes, we are live today. We shall be as quick as we can, unless otherwise something happens. But I'm going to try to be quick. How is everyone doing? How is life that side? How is 2026? Hey! Hey! That side. How is 2026? Hey! Okay, so how are you? We are here today again. We thank God for the grace that we are here. It's not by power. Yes. So today I have an assignment. Should I call it that? I want us to draft a bomber jacket, cut it. Shall not sew it today, but we shall draft it and cut. Sewing probably will do for another day. Yes. So how is everyone? How is everyone? Please join the live and we can start. Yes. Join. Join the live and we can start. These days I've not been coming live every time, but whenever I get the time, when God gives me the grace, I come. So yes, please come in and join. Yes, please join, like the live, and we shall begin. So, as I told you, today I'm going to draft a pattern of a bomber jacket. Yes, and probably cut it, but I'll not sew today. So I want us to be quick. Yeah, I have just a few minutes. All right. So we are going to start with our pattern drafting as always. All right. So I'm going to start with a beginning point as we always do. So this is my shoulder line. Okay. My shoulder line. So on the front, I'm going to draft the front and the back together. So on the front, I'm going to mark 1 inch going down. This 1 inch is for the zipper allowance. Okay. So the zipper allowance. All right. This bomber jacket can be worn by male or female. It is unisex. All right. So this is zipper allowance. All right, so depending on where you want your jacket to stop, you're going to take your measurements. So I would like my jacket to end, I'm taking measurements now. I would like it to end at 23 inches, okay? So 23 inches, this is the length I want, all right? So my full length is 23 inches. But I'm not going to mark all the 23. Remember, on a bomber jacket, there is a waistband. Yeah, so I'm going to take a waistband of 2.5 inches. So 23 minus 2.5 inches, I'll have 20.5 inches. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take 20.5 inches. So depending on where you want your bomber jacket to stop, you can take off 2.5 inches. That is for the waistband. Remember, it has a band down. Okay. So I'm going to mark this. This is the length minus the waistband. All right. Okay. So we are going to take in our measurements. Okay. We are going to take in our bust line. So my bust line is 10. So I'm going to come and take my neckline, depending on what your neckline is. You can measure your neckline and divide it by 6. Okay, whatever you have is what you use. But according to me, I'm going to use the standard of 3 inches by 3 inches. Okay. I told you I'm going to draft the front and the back together, and in the back I'll use 1 inch by 3 inches again. So you can measure your neckline, or you can use, I'm using the standard, but you can measure your neckline. You divide it by 6, and after that you measure around your neckline and see if whatever you have is enough. All right, there is a way to measure the neckline. Yeah, so if you don't know that way, you'll keep on this channel. Sometimes I mention it in my videos, how to measure the neckline. Maybe I'll do a video another day for that. So this is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to come here and divide my shoulder, divide by 2. So my shoulder is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. I'm going to come down here by 1.5 inches. You can come down by 1 inch depending. Okay, so I'm going to come down personally by 1.5 inches. All right, so after that we are going to measure our armhole depth. So for our armhole depth, I'm going to use my bust measurement, divide by 4. So my bust divide by 4. I don't have calculator. Where is it? Oh my God. Give me a minute. Oh my God, sorry for that. So, I was saying, for the, what? Where were we? So for the armhole depth, we are going to divide our bust, divide by 4. So my bust divide by 4 is 9.5 inches. 9.5 minus 1. Okay? So I'm going to first put in my bust measurement. My bust measurement is 9.5. Okay, so I'm going to come here, and whatever I have here, I'm going to first mark it here. This is 7.5. So on this line, it's where I'm going to take my armhole depth. So my armhole depth, I said, it is bust line divided by 4 minus 1 inch. So bust line divided by 4 minus 1 inch is now 8.5, which is this. This is the point here. Okay, almost to the bust line. Okay, so why do we do this? This is a jacket. A jacket is supposed to be free. If it was the normal what, we divide by 6, but this we divide by 4 and we subtract 1 inch. So I'm going to come here and take half of this. So this is the half, and I'm going to come in. You can come in by 1 inch or 0.75. Okay, so after that, I'm going to connect the points together. But before that, I told you, since it's a jacket, it's supposed to be free. So in your bust measurement, this is my bust 9.5. You can add in like 2 inches excess. Okay, so you can add in 2 inches. Jackets are not meant to be tight. Okay, so you can add these 2 inches here, right? Or you can add 1.5 depending on what you want. So now I'm going to come here and connect. So this is the point. I'm going to come and connect this point and connect up to this point. This is the point here. Okay, so now if you want your jacket to spread wide down, or you're going to put, remember the waistband we use on these jackets, they are sort of elastic. Okay, so you can come up and take up the measurement you have here. Let's say this is the measurement we are using, 11.5. So you can take 11.5 direct here, or you can make this wider. You can make it like let's say 12.5 or 13. Let's make 13. I'm making it because it's going to have an effect when the waistband, it will tighten it a bit to make sort of a puff down. This is optional. You can just use the measurement here, okay, and put here. This is completely optional. So this is what we are going to use for our jacket, for the front and for the back. So let's cut. So when you're cutting, you add in a sewing allowance of 0.5, okay, or 1 inch, depending. You see your seam allowance, yeah. So we are going to use this pattern to cut both the front and the back, but we have to make our sleeves. So let me use this to make the sleeves for the jacket. Okay, so for the sleeve, I'm going to mark a starting point as always. So I'm going to make a sleeve cap of 3.5 inches. Okay, so my sleeve cap will be 3.5 inches. So I'll mark 3.5 inches and make a straight line. So after the straight line we have made, I'm going to remember the armhole depth we used. We used an armhole depth of 8.5 inches. Okay, this is the point I mean from here to here. This is the armhole depth I used. So it's what I'm going to use here. So I'm going to measure 8.5 inches, which is this. Okay, after measuring that, I'm going to make a straight line here. And after making the straight line, I'll use a French curve. Where is my French curve? I don't know where it is right now. So I'm going to divide this line by 2. It's 9.25 divided by 2. I get the center. So I'm going to place this to the center, this to the center, and when I reach the center, I'll turn like this and bring up to this point. Okay, so when I'm cutting, I'm eliminating this line. Okay, I'm using this second line. So for the sleeve opening, I'm going to measure how long my sleeve is. My sleeve should be, so from here, my sleeve, I'm measuring again. It's 22. So 22 again, I'm going to take away 2.5 inches. So 22 minus 2.5 is 19.5. Okay, 22 minus 2.5 is 19.5. So I'm going to use 19.5. The 2.5 is for the wristband. Remember, the bomber jacket has a wristband as well. So I'm going to use 19.5 here. So I will use a sleeve opening of 6 inches. 6 inches or 5 inches, even 5 inches is enough. So depending, you can use 6 inches, it's still okay. Because you are going to gather it, a wristband is sort of elastic, okay? So you can use 6 inches here or 5. So I'm going to make the mark here, then get this, my hip curve. So I'm going to get my hip curve, this one, and I'm going to make a sleeve up to here. Okay, so remember we have a wristband here. Why I'm making it smaller than this, because it is elastic, we have to make it a little bit smaller than the sleeve itself. Okay, so this is going to be my sleeve, but just to be sure, I'm going to measure these points just to be sure. This is 9.5 inches. 9.5. This is longer. I remembered we added, I remember we added some inches here. Let me measure again here. So it's better you cross check. It was supposed to be 9.5. It was supposed to be 9.5, but remember I said it's a jacket, we add some allowance. So let's assume I stopped here. Let's measure and see. If I stopped here, this is slightly bigger, a little bit bigger, but by 0.25 inches. Yeah, it's bigger by 0.25 inches. So meaning we have to make our sleeve longer. So we have excess here of, wait a minute. It is 11.5 minus 11.5. So we have excess of 2.5 inches. So what you can do, you can come here and extend. You extend like 1.5 inch. What we are trying to do is to make sure that this fits in very well. This fits. I'm trying to see that this fits in. Remember, we just made it large from here. Okay, we just made it longer from here just to be free. So I'm going to take this again. Sorry for that. I'll take this again here. It's going to confuse you. Take the 1/2 point. So this is the 1/2 point. Let me use a different color so that you don't get confused. And after taking the 1/2 point, I'm going to use this color. I just want my sleeve to fit in my jacket, okay, so that I don't have fitting issues when I reach to sew. So it's better you cross check, please. Okay, so I want to take the measurement again. Okay, it's 11. Okay, we have 11 inches, which is now okay. So I can take this here. I don't want it so big. I'm going to take this here and revise my sleeve. So So I'm just doing this so that the sleeve fits in so well. Yeah, so this is what I use. So this is my sleeve that will fit in this my, yeah, this my jacket. Okay, so now I'm going to cut, and yeah, so we are going to cut the back first. No, I'll cut the front first. Okay, so I'm going to cut 4 pieces of each. Yeah, these jackets most times have lining. Not most times, all of the time they have lining. You can make it reversible that you can wear it on both sides, or you can make it single side. That, so this one, mine can be reversible because the fabric is the same. You can wear it on both sides. Yeah, or you can just use lining and put lining. So now we are going to cut the back, the front side. I told you we need 4 pieces, 2 for the lining and 2 to work as the real fabric. Okay, make sure you align everything right, and you have to split there, though I'll not split, but you should split, or you can turn this. Let's do this, it will be easier. Let's turn this and cut here like this. Remember to add sewing allowance. So I'm leaving down like a sewing allowance of 0.5, probably 0.5. I've not calculated, I've used my eyes, and we must leave a sewing allowance here, very small, 2.5, 0.5, 1 inch, depending on how you use your sewing allowance. Yeah. And another thing, for the back pattern, if you want, you can make this a little bit, not too much like this. You can make it more straight in the back, but I'll use the same pattern. It still works the same. Still works almost the same, so no need to stress. So we are going to cut. So this is for the sewing allowance down, and I told you we can leave a sewing allowance here. So we already added some inches. Consider it not added and add like a small sewing allowance. So on my sleeve, I always add on my shoulder line like a small sewing allowance, like 0.5, sometimes 2.5, depending if you're going to use, let's say, an interloper, you can leave a 2.5. Okay, so I'm done with cutting the front pieces. Let me use this to mark where my zip allowance is supposed to pass. So I'm just removing the 1 inch from this pattern. This 1 inch is for zip allowance. Okay, so this is the front. Now we are going to cut the back. What I don't know if this will be enough. Don't think so. I don't think so. Come with me, little darling. Oh my God, it will not work. There is something missing here, so I'm going to get another piece and cut the. We did not cut the what? The pockets. We're supposed to cut the pockets as well. Unfortunately. So now we are going to cut the back. Remember, the back is supposed to be cut and fold. So I'm going to take away the pins and you can decide to fold. If you want to keep your pattern, you can just decide to fold here. See what I did. See what I did. Hey. You know that I did not cut the front neckline? Hey. I've just seen it now. So I'll come back to this. Let me first cut the back. Then I'll come and cut the front neckline because it will disorganize everything. So now what I'm going to do, you can decide to fold this. You can decide to fold off this or cut it. So let me cut it. Okay. So I'm cutting off the zip allowance completely. Now I'm going to cut the back. Remember, the back is supposed to be on fold. So right. I'm trying to straighten up so that everything lies flat. Might not work, so let me use this side. Okay, so this is going to be our fold here. So remember, we left some sewing allowance also down on the front, so I'm going to leave the sewing allowance, which will join the waistband, like a 0.5 inch sewing allowance, and I'm going to pin all right. Oh my god, so we are going to cut. Remember, we left a small sewing allowance on this as well, so you leave a sewing allowance. So I told you, whatever sewing allowance you left is what you leave. Whatever you leave on the back is what you leave on the front. All right. So now we have our back pattern, and it's on fold. So one piece is to the lining, and the other piece is to the main fabric. So this is our back. Now I'm going to bring back this. I'm going to bring back this, place it again. I remember I indicated where the lines are going to pass. So you can pin. You can pin for clarity and for stability. Then after pinning, you're going to come and cut the front neckline. Okay? All right. So now this will be our front. So we are done with cutting our front and our back. Okay, so we are going to cut the sleeves as well. Remember, the sleeves are supposed to be unfolded as well. So you're supposed to add a sewing allowance of 0.25, 0.5, depending on what you are going to use. And I'm adding 0.5. This is to join the sleeve to the wristband. Here I will not add because there is no. If I was on fabric, I would add, but it's not going to change much. You have to add sewing allowance on this line, please. Please. You're supposed to add. If I didn't add, it doesn't mean you're not supposed to add. Okay. So our sleeves are done. You're supposed to cut the lining pieces and the main fabric. Okay. So we are supposed to have two sleeves, four pieces. Anyway, make sure everything is balanced. I did not pin, so I'm getting issues here. It's important to pin when you're going to cut. If you don't pin, you'll get issues, imbalances and all that. So you're supposed to pin, please. Okay. So the sleeves are now done. Okay. So we are going to cut, what is it called? we are going to cut the pockets. So depending on how wide you want your pocket to be. So I'm going to use 7 inches. Let me see how long 7 inches is. Okay. This is not too long. Okay, let's use a pocket of 6 inches. Okay. So we shall use a pocket of 6 inches. So I'm going to mark 7 inches. Yeah, 6 inches will 8 inches will be too much. So I'm going to mark 7 inches. Okay. So 6 will be enough. 1 inch is for sewing allowance. I don't know how I'm going to cut this, but so I'm going to come and make the problem. This is black, and I'll make my pocket how many inches long. So I'm going to make it longer. Let me mark 10 as the maximum. And I'll mark here 7. I'll come and mark here. So let's assume this is going to be our opening. So I'm going to come okay. Let me come and me and pockets were not friends, so I'm not so friends with making pockets. Okay, but either way I make the pockets. So I must make sure I have the 7 inches here, because I want my opening to be at least 6 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. So you might not make them as deep as mine. You can just place your finger and trace around your, yeah, depending on what you want. Or you can make them long. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, so these are 2 pieces. We need more 2 pieces. So I'll just bring this and place it on another part and cut the pockets. So you can pin that. As you can see, I'm just going to use my science and technology. You can as well cut all of the 4 together, the 4 sides together, and save time. Okay. So I think I'm done with everything else that I need to have. Just the wrist and the waistband remaining. Oh my god. Sorry, one part is not cut. Okay. So our pockets are done as well. You can place these pockets either way. You can even place them like this. But I think this is better. Okay. So we are done with cutting the sleeves, the pockets, the bodies. So tomorrow we shall sew, and I will bring the wrist band and the waistband and then something to put on the neck. Yeah. So I think I have been quick. Oh my god, I've used 57 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to stop here today, my dears. Tomorrow we shall do the sewing. Yeah. Good, we have finished everything. The cutting part is done. So tomorrow we shall just sew, and that will be it. Another thing I've not cut. I think it needs another color. I will use another color. It's something to put on top of the pockets. Yeah. So I'll get something to put on top, like 2 inches to put on top of the pockets. So that will be it. Thank you for watching. I'm going to keep this here and this. If my jacket turns out to be nice, I will use this pattern to cut in real fabric. Okay. If it turns out with plastic bag, I will cut it in real fabric. So I'm going to keep all these pieces so that if I like the result, I'll use the pattern again. Alright, so we are done for today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. Yes, tomorrow I will come live and we shall sew this. Tomorrow or today, I don't know. It's already another day here. Yeah. So I don't know if it's still tomorrow or today. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. So yeah, that's where I have to stop today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when I come live, you'll be notified. YouTube will notify you when I come live. I love you so much. Thank you for always watching these videos. I don't take it for granted, by the way. I don't. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.